Head to Whole Foods Market for savings on zesty flavors. It's the Cocina Latina event with yellow sales signs throughout the store. Check out the meat department for marinated skirt steak with no antibiotics ever, and explore delicious weeknight shortcuts with a variety of 365 brand simmer sauces, rice and beans at wallet-happy prices. Liven things up in produce with fresh salsa and guacamole. Save during the Cocina Latina event at Whole Foods Market.
Explore new ways to tune into your music with Spotify Premium. Smart Shuffle adds recommendations into your playlist to show you new sounds. Or you can make music a shared experience when you host a jam, where you and your friends can add songs and listen in together. Tap the banner to learn more.
Call this meeting to order. Roll call.
Mayor Parsons,
Present.
Commissioner Laura,
Present.
Commissioner Warren,
Here.
Vice Mayor Vasquez,
Here.
Commissioner Landry.
Present.
We have a quorum, Your Honor.
Okay. Stand, join me for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Invocation. Pastor? Yeah, right there. Betcha.
I'm Pastor Dave Hoffman from the Liberal Church of the Nazarene. I've pastored 50 years, and I'm retired now, so I'm a free associate pastor.
Okay.
And my daughter Elizabeth Morgan is actually the pastor. So let's bow our heads for a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this occasion that we can come to here together tonight. Thank you for every single one of these servant leaders who collaborate, who guide, and we just pray that you will continue to give them wisdom and all the decisions that they need to make. We thank you, Father, for what St. Augustine first told us when he said that thou hast created us for thyself, and our hearts are restless until we find our rest in thee. Thank you for what King Solomon told us in Proverbs. Trust in the Lord with all of your heart. Lean not to your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall guide and direct your paths. And then I think of what President Teddy Roosevelt said. No one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. So as these leaders care for our community, our families, just continue to lead and guide them. We give you all the praise in Jesus' name. And everyone said?
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
And you have good news from the insurance, so.
Yeah, great. So item number one, awards, proclamations, and presentations, none. Approval of the agenda is item 2.
Make a motion that we approve the agenda as printed.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Okay, motion passes 5-0. Item number 3, minutes.
I'll make a motion that we approve the March 10th, 2026 work session minutes and the March 10th, 2026 regular meeting minutes.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Okay, motion passes 5-0. Item number 4, items from citizens. Are there any citizens that would like to address the commission? All right, seeing none. Move on to item number 5, items from groups. Any groups would like to address the commission? Okay, seeing none of those. Item number 6, consent agenda.
I would actually like to move one of the items out of the consent agenda and view it as item 6A.
Okay. Do we just take the other 2 items?
And
Vote
approve
them
it.
Motion to approve items 6B and C under the consent agenda.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on items 6B and C. Any discussion on those items? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Okay, motion passes 5-0. Okay, move back to item 6A. That would be the Arcalen grazing lease.
On this one, I'm just bringing back, I remember bringing this item up about 2 to 2.5 years ago, and then again 3 years ago before that. In those conversations, and this would have been before Scarlett's time, we had brought it up to discuss regarding having this be a bid item and or a yearly approval on it. What discussions have gone on since then? Since I see this is now a 3-year renewal, and we did not take it to bid at this time. Which I know in the past, we had still gone ahead and given like first right, first refusal to the Louderbacks as the existing tenants. But just curious to see what else has happened with that lease in the meantime.
So we met with the Lauterbachs 2 or 3 times regarding the lease. We went from a cow-calf pair lease to a flat acreage dollar amount lease. It was decided at that time that we felt that they were solid tenants. They took care of the grounds, and we went ahead and went with the acreage lease. Brian did help us with that. And Brad, did you want to add anything else?
So, Lauterbachs have been leasing for 30+ years. They've been excellent tenants. They've been stewards of the property. So we felt like we got a fair price for what they were doing. We're requiring them to put in about a mile and a little change of fence. And they didn't feel like they wanted to do that work and then have it taken away from them next year, which I don't disagree with them. I wouldn't want to do that either. We pay for the materials, they pay for the labor and take care of everything. I mean, they've been solid tenants. Bruce, who's the park manager, loves working with them. We've never had issues with them as far as any problems at all, overgrazing or anything else.
From a revenue standpoint, we did negotiate double the amount that we had budgeted for the lease out of the general fund through the flat acreage dollar amount. Then we don't have to go out and count cows and such.
And I will say, if you want to put it on a bid process, you probably don't want to do that on a 1-year basis, because for people that are running a cow-calf herd, to have that many acres taken away or have to fight for that every year, your cost return on cow-calf's it's gonna have to be very aggressive. So if you're gonna do it in a bid process, you wanna do at least a 3-year program or up to a 5-year, but I wouldn't wanna do more than a 5-year bid, just so you keep it about a market rate. So in this contract, there is a right of first refusal that comes up in the 3-year. If you so wish at that time, we can put it in so that we have something in our documents within the folder to make sure we are doing that in the future.
I have no frame of reference on this at all as far as the price that was in this lease. I mean, you say it's a fair price.
Well,
I mean, they've been great stewards, and I appreciate that, and that makes me want to lean toward them pretty heavily, but
so if you look at what they brought in from, what's the office?
That one, I believe, you're talking about the printout they gave, that was from like a K-State Ag Econ deal.
Okay, so if you look at the 10 to 15 counties around here, it's anywhere from $10 to $16. And we did 12. I know it's easy to come in now and go, I'd have gave you 25. You know, it's like.
Yeah, well, that's-
$12.50, but also the labor for the fence.
Yeah.
Now, have they been doing that fence in the past?
They have done it in the past.
Yeah, they did some, a couple of years ago, they replaced some fence that needed replaced. And since we put the road in this year, the fence was on, if you're driving down the park, the fence was on the right side of the park. So since we put a new road in, we're putting a new fence on the east side to keep the cattle off the road area, which goes from the gate all the way down to the camp. Through the hills, and we cleared out an area so that in the forest where they can get a straight shot. We've taken some acreage away from it, down by the, as you pull into the park, that big meadow area. Because Bruce kind of dictated where he wanted the fence to go for the cross-country leagues and everything else. So I've talked to a rancher who has 1,500 to 1,800 head. And he said 1,250 is not fair.
Guess that's the only other question would be, how do we determine what we would consider a fair rate ourselves without I don't think any of the three of us have much experience in ranching.
No.
That's like on the cow-calf there, I have no idea. You ever go out there and try to cow-calf, good luck,
Oh, yeah.
because they're all over that.
No, I think lease, acre rate is a better way to go than taking their word for it or having to send someone out to verify what they're bringing in. Because I don't think we've ever done that before, have we? Truly reviewed what was there?
Like how many
No.
they're grazing?
Yeah.
No, I don't believe we have ever counted. We just take their word for it.
So if you remember, so this thing has been flip-flop. I mean, this is the biggest flat cap pancake I've ever done. Because, the prior manager out there had it, and then it went to parks. And then it went back to that, who did the lease and everything, and I think Lynn reviewed all that stuff when he originally did the lease. And then now it went back, and Ryan's a cattle guy, or maybe not a cattle guy, but
Ag background.
ag background.
And what we negotiated was about 10,000 more year over year and about 16,000 more than we budgeted in revenue. That's also where we came in with it being a fair amount this time. They did want to negotiate maybe a few more years. I was not comfortable with anything past 3.
That answer your concerns?
Most of them.
Okay.
Sounds like they were getting a good deal before then.
Not an ag guy, I couldn't tell you.
All right then. That's all the questions I got on it.
Okay. You want to make a motion to,
And this is for 6A, right?
for 6A?
Or we do them, leave it back in there? We didn't make a motion on the other two yet, did we?
Yeah, we did.
I just didn't write it down, huh?
Separately.
I'll make a motion that we approve item 6A from the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a grudging second. Any further discussion, questions? All those in favor?
Matt,
Aye.
Okay, motion passes 5-0. Item number 7, comprehensive insurance renewal from Iron Insurance Partners.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor by phone, and Commissioners. I'll provide a brief overview of our insurance renewal before turning it over to Ms. Catherine Taylor for more detail. The city's total premium this year is $1,116,569, an increase of approximately 3.5% over last year. This is a very favorable result. Most municipalities are currently seeing increases in the 5 to 15% range, particularly in liability and workers' compensation. Staff took a proactive approach this year by conducting a detailed line-by-line review of our insured assets. We removed items we no longer own or no longer need insured, which helped offset costs and ensure we're only paying for necessary coverage. While there were increases in areas like liability and workers' compensation, those are consistent with broader market trends. At the same time, we achieved reductions in areas like inland marine and cyber, and kept property essentially flat. Overall, this reflects a balanced approach, maintaining strong coverage while actively managing costs. This is a strong renewal below market increase with proactive steps taken to control costs while maintaining appropriate coverage. I'll now turn it over to Ms. Catherine Taylor with Iron Insurance, previously Al Shank Insurance, to walk through the details and answer any questions. You all should have this packet in front of you, and it was also included in the online packet as well.
Good evening, Commissioners. I would like to begin by discussing the marketing of your account. This is something that we take a look at from time to time to make sure that you are in the best position we can possibly put you in. You guys have been with the Employers Mutual Casualty Company for the last 20 years, possibly a little longer than that. That's as far back as my records go. They are the largest public entity writer in the state of Kansas. They do a wonderful job. But we are also partnered with Travelers, and they are the largest public entity writer in the entire country. They run a very good program, and some of the concerns that Scarlett shared with me, we felt like we wanted to see if Travelers had a competitive program to offer you that might be better than the one that EMC had you in. Your staff has gone to great lengths to facilitate this. I'm not sure any of you have been involved in quoting commercial insurance, especially public entity. It is extensive work. They were very helpful, very forthcoming, very proactive in reviewing all of the coverages and everything that we needed to do the very best job for you. Unfortunately, I do not have an alternative market to offer you because Travelers has a deductible structure that is 3% on your wind and hail. EMC is a $75,000 per occurrence, all buildings. To give you a frame of reference, you have one building that 3% wind hail would be a $114,000 deductible. So the deductibles alone, from our perspective, put that out of fiscal responsibility. We would not recommend that. In addition to that, EMC is also a mutual company, and you participate in their program for safe operating entities, and you receive a dividend check. A dividend is not guaranteed, but for 20 years, you have received one every year. In the last 5 years, I had a history pulled. The lowest dividend that you've received has been $77,000. It's been as high as $131,000. And this check I'm presenting to Scarlett is $95,481. So again, Travelers' offer was $8,500 less in premium. So it just does not compute to even. I wanted to have the conversation so you understood the process and the links that everyone went to arrive at that conclusion, but it was not worth your time, which is very valuable and very busy, to present that full comparison to you because it just did not equate to math that would be beneficial. So the main things I'd like to go over with you are the changes in premium. I feel like those are going to be the biggest point of questions that you will have. Now, there are two lines that you're going to notice increases on. That's going to be your general liability and your workers' compensation. This is not a rate increase in any fashion. You had a $2 million increase in payroll. Scarlett did a wonderful job of going through. Payroll numbers were not updated. Work comp numbers you guys have been getting significant audits for quite a long time because those numbers that were provided in the beginning, they are a guess. And then you are audited at the end of the term to make sure that if anyone guessed incorrectly, if you're due a refund, you receive that. If the carrier is due additional premium, then they too receive that. None of this is in result to a rate increase at all. It is strictly that $2 million in payroll increase. Now, some of those numbers you will notice have kind of, the class codes and categories have moved around because, again, in the extensive review we conducted, some of your employees were inappropriately classed, inappropriately in a higher rate class. So those were moved to the rate that you should be paying that is obviously more affordable. So you'll notice some changes there. As far as any of the other changes in premium to your general liability or your workers' compensation, those are directly related to your increase in exposure because of that additional $2 million in payroll. There is not an increase in rate for you there. EMC is running a very responsible, very tight program. So we are not seeing major increases, as Kristen said. The market is beginning to soften. So we aren't seeing 20%, 25% in some cases like we had in the last 5 to 6 years. It, as you know, it kind of went crazy for a little while there. But especially the more responsible carriers, their programs are coming in line tight and their markets are softening. And that is why EMC, your property is, you will have a $364 savings this year because they are not finding the financial need to take those increases like other carriers. So again, we recommend that you continue your program with them because they are a good, responsible place to keep your risk management. Let's see. Your inland marine decreased drastically. Kristen and the rest of your team went through everything as she indicated, line by line. I believe you removed close to $2 million in exposure there. So you guys have received some significant savings on that. We were able to remarket your cyber liability with a new carrier to provide you some additional savings. You had some additional auto, so that offset some of those savings, but your renewal has come in, as she said, about 3%, which is pretty fantastic for a public entity of your size. So I would like to point out, as far as claims go, we are one of the largest public entity insurers in the state. So we have a lot of data to compare this to. We went through and found cities of your similar size and exposure and took a look at their loss history to give you guys an idea of where you are and how well your program is managed. So overall, the average property and casualty losses on one of them was 245% for the last 5 years. The other one was 102%. Yours is 25%. So a very stark disparity between yourselves and others. So your team is to be commended because that is phenomenal. On your workers' compensation, 5 years ago, you had a 1.32 experience modification number. I'm not sure how familiar all of you are with that. I try very hard not to bore you, but I am going to walk you through the calculation. All of those, as you saw on the workers' compensation, each of those categories has a rate. And that rate is associated with your level of exposure. It is a simple mathematical formula. But at the end of that, they multiply that by your work comp experience modification. 1 for your mod number is average. You do the same as everybody else on average. Your work comp mod is 0.66. So that means when they take that initial premium they've calculated, they multiply that by 0.66, so you receive a 34% savings by running a program as safe and compliant as you do. And I will say, in this process and just in working with your team in general, they have been extremely receptive to every loss control measure that we have offered. They have either already had a form of it in place or been eager to put that in place and came with questions about how they could improve things to run the best program they possibly can for you. And these are not numbers that we see anywhere else, so it is exemplified by that, the work that they've been doing. Previously, with your 1.32 mod of 5 years ago, you were paying an additional 32% on your workers' compensation, simply because your program needed some work. That work has been done, so your team should very much be commended in that regard. Do we have any questions on any of those things?
I just have a couple. It says we're no longer insuring the Skyhawk building. Are we keeping anything of value inside that anymore?
Anything.
I mean, I know if it falls down, we're not gonna get paid for it, but
Is we're keeping inside the paint booths, which are like a building in a building.
right.
But to speak of,
Okay.
And the condition of the building, the carrier was not offering.
Oh,
a
I
renewal on
understand.
that.
I just want to make sure we're not putting something valuable in there that's going to get crushed when it falls in. And you know, thanks to staff for working to get those equipment numbers down and things. So no, that's really the only thing I had. Those were my questions.
I will point out that your airport general liability was renewed for 3 years again, which is good news because you don't have to incur annual increases or changes in rate. So that was definitely a positive in your favor. I believe that is everything I had on the assessment. I'm not sure where we are on time. Would you like me to run through your coverage amounts, or is that something you're all familiar with?
Good.
No, I'm good.
Yeah. No, we're good.
Anything else you guys can think of I can help you with?
I'm pretty happy with the renewal. Anything that stays below 5% or even double digits has been really good. So 3%, of course, a lot of it is the restructuring. cleaning up what we had and then doing a correct audit on the rest of our.
Your team was instrumental in that taking place the way it did. We reach out to our clients to receive this information, but we can't provide it for them. We are at their mercy. And so the quality of information that we're given, it kind of limits what we can do. We have not been limited in any way by any of your staff. They have done nothing but collaborate and work together with us and go the extra mile, ask the additional questions, what can we do to make this better, even when we're not putting them to task for that. So, yeah, this is definitely in large part due to them and to EMC being a really responsible carrier. They have done a good job with their program, so they are able to offer those renewals that are level instead of increasing, so.
Is that also a good sign? I haven't tracked with EMC. I just remember I'd always ask, especially if they're not taking any large increases, they don't have any plans of leaving Kansas, right?
Oh, no.
I remember when they left Oklahoma.
EMC is the largest public entity writer in the state of Kansas. If they were to leave, that would be a shock to everyone.
Oklahoma was shocked when they did. But no, I think Kansas has done all right for the most part. So glad to hear that.
Okay, excellent. Anything else from anyone? Okay,
You're good. Thank you very much.
thank you. I appreciate you all, and thank you for trusting your business with us.
Thank you for the great big check.
Yeah, thank you.
So happy to present. When that came in the mail today,
I think it has a
Perfect.
long-
I had a smile on my face.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
We've been waiting on it. Thank you very much.
Okay, I move that we approve the 2026 comprehensive insurance renewal as presented by our Iron Insurance Partners.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or questions? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Okay, motion passes 5-0. Item number 8, Downtown Redevelopment Master Plan.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners, tonight we have service quotes for you from the two firms that we were able to speak to and that you identified as finalists for this entire process. Of course, we started this process back in December, had several qualified firms that applied through the process, narrowed down to Confluence and Rick Engineering to be able to provide services for our redevelopment master plan, which will take a look at both the form and the function of how downtown operates, the built spaces that we have there, and what may be cost-effective phased approaches to being able to revitalize downtown and redevelop it in a way that our community would like to see. And so you're very familiar with everything that goes into the plan itself. So I wanted to kind of cover the quotes that we received. Confluence quoted at $94,750. That was their maximum price. There are some reimbursable funds in there that would be, totaled into that cost. And so Rick Engineering, same way, it's $93,810. That's a $940 difference, which is about 1%. In looking at the firms, the quality of the work that they do, and speaking with some of the references for cities that have worked with them in the past, we felt most comfortable recommending Confluence. We did feel that they had the best review from the others that we talked to. They said that the plans that have been developed by Confluence, they weren't things that couldn't ever be built. They were practical. They were things that they felt, the communities that they worked with were able to get behind and support because they do such a good job at their public engagement. When you look at the, kind of detail between the two companies, Confluence definitely takes a lot more time and effort in doing really, really good public engagement, which is what we're going to have to be able to move forward with anything downtown. And so that was one of the main reasons that we recommend them. They also do really great 3D modeling and visualization, which again, just being able to see what that could look like is a major component to being able to, make an informed decision and vote on things that are going to serve us well long-term. And finally, just the quality of some of the examples they provided in their portfolio. We felt that they had the best to offer us in terms of service for our plan. So with that, we are recommending approval to negotiate a contract agreement with Confluence pending legal counsel's review for the purpose of creating the downtown redevelopment master plan in an amount not to exceed $95,000 to be funded through the economic development portion of the 1 cent sales tax. I'm glad to answer any questions.
Kind of crazy that it came out that close together.
I do have a question.
Okay, Jeanette, go ahead.
So I did look through both of them, and I saw that a lot of it says the community input is going to be gathered from a steering committee. So are we not going to do town halls then? Basically, all of the data is going to be recompiled from steering committees. Am I correct, or am I misunderstanding?
Steering committees are components of both the proposals. So just kind of in RIC engineering, they wanted to do 3 to 5 steering committee meetings. Those would be selected by leadership as to who's on those committees. They would also do a project website using a mapping tool. It's called Social Point. And they had examples of how they used that with some of their prior projects. That is on the RIC engineering side. I will say that Confluence does things very differently in terms of what their idea for public engagement is. They plan to do some stakeholder meetings, but beyond that, they wanted to do up to 20 interviews with people in the community who had a lot of involvement in downtown and what happens there. I feel those would probably give us some really good information. Sometimes ideas get lost when you do have a room full of people. Those one-on-one stakeholder interviews, I think, will be very powerful. But beyond that, in terms of the general broad public, they'll be able to participate through the online Social Point website that will be created. There is a mapping tool on that where people can stop, take a picture, they can leave a review, tell us what they think should go there. They also have an interactive idea board where people can submit ideas from other communities to be able to specifically enhance a certain space. They will have small format surveys that are very easy to complete, and they will also do image voting. So once they get to a point that they want to put some initial concept ideas out there visually, they'll be able to put those photos out there and allow people to rank them in terms of what they like most. So in seeing what they've done with other communities, they definitely did the best job in that regard. They also, beyond that, are looking at 2 in-person focus groups. And then once they have a draft concept plan, they want to bring that back here on site and do an open house to take a look at everything. So I really feel like they went far beyond and really are giving us what we would need in terms of the level and the degree of involvement is really important. Not every resident wants to maybe come to that town hall, but they'll take a quick survey or they'll vote on the picture they like best. But we also know there are those that, are very well entrenched in downtown and have a lot of ideas. And that's where we feel those would be the great people for them to do a one-on-one interview with. So we really feel that they took an approach that really kind of gauges public's interest in participating and does so in a way that's very effective.
And the one-on-one interviews are in person or by
Those
phone?
would be virtual.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the city would provide those names to
Yes,
them?
we would
Okay.
assist with that. Yeah, they'll look for recommendations. Hey, who's your economic development person? Who owns this, certain plot or those types of things. So.
Do you have any more questions, Jeanette?
Well, I don't have questions, but I have concerns. Like when we first talked about it the first time, the biggest concern we had was about them transforming downtown to a 2-lane versus 4-lane. And when we all came in agreement when we were going to get this assessment done was that we were going to open it to town halls where people had the opportunity to voice their opinion. Now, I understand that they can do it online, but is it going to be transparent? Are they going to ask a simple question? Do you want to convert downtown from 4-lane to 2-lane, or is it just going to ask a lot of questions? Because honestly, we can frame the questions in a way to where Like, I just want to make sure there's full transparency, because we can frame the questions in a way to where it seems like the data wants, like, to transform it from a 4-lane to a 2-lane, kind of like that misleading question that we had. So I just wanted to be out there that we're going to get data from everybody, not just certain individuals, because it could very much be biased if only a selected handful get to pick the people for the steering committee.
Right. And so that's where that would be the open house with the concept ideas. And again, there's the opportunities for people to bring us those concerns and their ideas, because this is something they'll have the website up for the duration of the entire plan. So that as we are able to put some of those images out there and we start getting those ideas, we can encourage people to engage with us on that.
And the traffic studies will be a big part
Yes.
of the downtown redevelopment project. So
I kind of feel like there'd be opportunities for people to participate along the way.
Right.
You know, as you get you know, participate in those discussions, but also when there's a draft plan presented after they've done their homework and, you know, let those guys do what they do, there would be a chance to comment on any kind of draft plan that would come forward.
Right.
it would be very collaborative. Oh, go
I
ahead.
agree with Jeanette 100%.
I basically just want it to be where people have the option to express, like, which direction they would like the city headed, not just certain selected individuals.
Right. And that'll be part of the surveys that they do through the public facing site, the open house that they plan to do as they bring some of those concepts back for refinement. Again, when you compare company against company, we feel that Confluence is very much stronger in terms of the public engagement.
Interaction and collaborative with the public.
Right.
That was a big part of what we saw in their packet.
Yeah.
The other benefit still is too, this will definitely be more of a guideline for us that we can follow. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still gonna be up to the commission to determine if there's a specific thing in there that we have decided we don't want to go with, or we do want to approve. So there's still gonna be time for more input on those parts. So I think this will give us all the information we need to make sure that it goes the right direction.
Yeah. There's a couple of more things about, you know, I read through all these proposals and with the Confluence is that they have engaged an engineering firm that has a liberal native part as part of the team. I think that's great. And two, that they're a firm that's done work with Starbond projects in the past, and I think that's something that we should be able to take advantage of a little bit, maybe as a separate thing, but something that I think we would be able to take advantage of and benefit from their experience on that. Okay, any more discussion or questions? Anybody? Staff?
Not, I'll make a motion that we approve the negotiation of a contract agreement with Confluence for the purpose of creating a downtown development master plan in the amount not to exceed $95,000 to be funded through the economic development portion of the 1-cent sales tax.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or questions? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye. Mine's an A.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
She voted against it.
She's against.
Jeanette said
Jeanette
nay.
against, Matt for.
Okay, so motion passes 4-1. Okay, item number 9, airport security cameras.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. Come to you this evening. We're wanting to put in cameras out at the airport, at the terminal and then the two main gates that go into the airport. We went with INA. That way we can keep it all together with the rest of what the city's doing. it'll cover the airport terminal, the parking lot, and the two main gates. So that way we have security and safety at the airport. We budgeted $30,000 for it. The quote came back $46,506.51. So we're going to be short about $16,506.51. I've gotten with Tim on this and Scarlett. Tim's helped a lot on trying to figure out what we all want to do with the cameras, and also if we want to go, because we had two quotes. One was cloud-based, one was on-site. The cloud-based was going to be less than the budget, but with cloud-based, it wouldn't have been, if we would have lost internet, we wouldn't have security cameras, and then that wouldn't have been good, especially with TSA and all of that, because they need the camera coverage all the time. And what this camera system will do is also have facial recognition audio, so that way when people move through the airport, we'll be able to track them if something goes on. So with the on-site, we'll have coverage consistently through the whole time. So talking with Scarlett, we're going to watch our budget and then hopefully try to use remaining balance out of other budgeted line items, so that way we can kind of keep.
We'll take the full expense out of new equipment machinery where it was budgeted, but we do have a little bit of cushion in the chemical line item and the utilities, just comparing it year over year, that I feel like it's comfortable to approve the overage. The cloud-based versus the on-site, I did have a discussion with Tim on that and did feel good after we had a conversation about it that we needed to do the on-site. Also, when we build a new terminal, it would go with it. So it's not like it would be destroyed with that and we would be losing money. And it's important, I think, to integrate and stay with INA on just about everything. And so we've moved forward with that company with all of our other locks and cameras.
And with the new terminal, this system will integrate with all the door locks also that we'll have to put in also. So staff recommends the commission to authorize the airport to move forward with the camera installation contracted with Alert, not to exceed $50,000.
Any questions for Brian?
Nope, that was my only question, is just to make sure this technology and the on-site was going to be able to be moved to the new location.
Yes. Yeah, that's why we did go with an Alert, so that way it could move
Keep
to the
going
new,
with.
yes.
Okay. Make a motion, we authorize the Liberal Mid-America Regional Airport to move forward with the security camera installation and contract with INA Alert, not to exceed $50,000.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion or questions? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes 5-0. Thank you, Brian. Okay, item number 10, Atlas Server Hardware Project. Tim?
Good evening, everybody. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. 2 weeks ago, we had a work session and we discussed this item tonight. basically authorized us to go forward with quoting out this server that is kind of a critical piece to this software package that we're developing. We sought 2 quotes, one from CDWG and one from SHI. This time around, CDWG was not the winner of the price battle. They came in roughly about 0.95% lower than SHI. This is kind of a negligible thing. But if you look even closer at the quotes that they sent back, SHI actually included $5,000 worth of additional service to some of the storage, where CDWG did not. So that gap widens up even further. So it's staff's recommendation that we, for your consideration, award the server hardware project to SHI in the amount of $247,000, $247,223.18. Of that, $50,000 will be from the general fund, $50,000 from crime prevention, $50,000 from water, and $97,223.18 from streets, drainage, capital improvements of the 1 cent sales tax. Did I get that right, Scott?
I think the streets drainage capital improvements is 97,233.18, so just.
Yeah, 233, I'm
Yes.
sorry, I forgot to edit that.
The breakdown is correct. We feel that all of those departments will be impacted and yield solid results from the Atlas implementation in several different ways. General fund has a contingency line item that has budgetary authority. We will get a lot of good out of the crime prevention portion with the crime blotters and other areas that we can look at data. Water has the utility billing implementation, the early alert system.
Constant things that I'm always sticking in there since last time we've talked. Probably developed about a half a dozen more things that we've pushed out.
Just about anything we ask for.
Yeah, just about anything that you guys come up with, we can stick in it and make this whole thing more beneficial to everybody. So, if you've got any questions,
No, in most cases, I know a lot of our upgrade we've done through CDWG.
Yeah.
Do you have any issues with going with the other company
no.
that will have
No.
different?
So, the story is, when you guys authorized me that Tuesday, that night I sent out quote requests to both companies, and within 3 days or so, SHI had me a quote back with everything that I wanted. SHI was the one that did that. CDWG, on the other hand, I gave them a kind of a hard deadline, and they took another day and a half after that, and then I still felt like they didn't really, give me everything that I was asking for. As far as timeliness, if we're dropping that kind of cash with them, I think they should be a little bit more responsive on some things, and they weren't. Okay. So I felt like SHI they went above and beyond to win.
A lot of times it's the same equipment, isn't it?
It's identical. It's the exact same. When I sent them the specs, it was apples to apples, so there's no substitutions on anything. So this go around, it's whoever decides to put out the better number.
So does this build us in enough excess capacity for growth?
Yeah.
For a while?
Yeah, a lot. So we've probably got 7 years worth of use out of this before we would even have to even consider
Everything's
something.
going to change by then. So.
Will it also serve as a potential redundancy for some of our other systems?
No.
Since it'll be taking some of that information?
No.
Or will it only have access to it?
It's strictly, so the way the system works is, so you've got Atlas. Atlas is basically the code that runs in front of this system, the inference server, as I should say it. So this system takes requests from Atlas and analyzes it, and then pushes the results back to Atlas. So it's a constant loop of information all the time.
Got it.
So, but the thing about the machine that we're getting is with the models that we're going to be running on it, the development model that I'm running right now is incredibly small. It's like I presented to you in the work session. It's not as smart as other models. With this hardware, we can run much larger models that are much smarter. For example, one of the packages that I developed was for building and zoning. And what it allows them to do is analyze building plans. So essentially what they do is they take the PDF that they receive, drop it into Atlas, or their module into Atlas, and within 15 minutes, it will have gone through every page and identified, according to the international building codes that the model knows about, it will have identified everything wrong in that set of plans. Instead of spending 20 hours on it, you've now spent 15 minutes or 35 minutes, ahead of what you would have spent, doing it manually. So it'll go through, identify what page, it'll put a mark on the page where these violations are, and give the individuals who's looking at them kind of a starting point. So the small model does really good, but the larger one's going to know more about the engineering codes. And then we have the opportunity of dropping in the code books that it can then have the most up-to-date codes possible to reference. So it's a really cool system, but it's just one of those things that we develop on the way, find needs from different departments. One of the things I've done for water is they have had work orders, and these work orders they've got binders full of these things. So they have no way of really searching these work orders for things they've done on different pieces of property or different installations throughout time. So the work orders module, what it does is it allows whomever, Jose or Mel or whomever, to scan in an entire book, 80 pages of it, drag it over. It will then process all of those 80 pages, and it identifies each page as a new work order. It will look at old drawings, it'll pick out different pieces, but the coolest thing is it recognizes handwriting. So it will take that handwriting, stick it in the necessary fields that it needs to, and then stores it, allows them to search it, ties it to an existing address. So you can then click on different pieces of information. So it's a pretty efficient system, but it's just an ongoing, development. But it's little things like that to help people save time. But anyway, so anything else? And I do offer, if you guys want to come down and see it sometime,
I'll be here.
Yeah, just come down and we'll take an after or morning or whatever. And I'll give you a good run through of what all it will do.
All right.
So.
And again, this was not a budgeted expense for 2026, but this is why contingency funds exist.
Yeah.
We didn't foresee this, or maybe Tim did this time last year. but
Honestly, I started on this back in September.
It really took
And-
off in the late part of last year.
Yeah, and then I really started seeing the potential of things that were happening. And I brought it to Scarlett, and she's like, yeah, let's see where we can go with it. So, but
Okay.
anyway,
I make a motion, we approve the quote from SHI for the Atlas server hardware project. Funding being split with 50% from general fund contingency, 50,000 from general fund contingency, 50,000 from 1% sales tax crime prevention, 50,000 from water, and not to exceed 100,000 from 1% sales tax streets, drainage, and capital improvements.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or questions for Tim? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes 5-0.
Awesome.
Thank you, Tim.
Yeah. Like I said, you guys are more than welcome to come down.
Oh, yeah.
and take a look at it.
Once it's running, we'll be there.
Thank you, Tim.
Okay, item number 11, city staff.
Mayor, commissioners, so go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to kind of point out, this is, you guys should have a little pin at your desk, I think Lynn has one. This is the pin I designed for the 2025-2026 president. When we become president of CCMFOA, we get to design a pin. We present them at our spring conference. This year, our theme was, you've always had the power, believe, begin, become. And if you guys kind of notice, I put a lot of liberal into it. It has the yellow brick road, of course, Ruby Slippers. It has Oz in the 2026. I just wanted to make sure that my pin represents our city, because this will be what we also pass out at the IIMC International Conference in May. So we're lucky, everyone loves Kansas pins because it's always Dorothy themed. And a really cool thing that is new, if you click, like you take it out, the Ruby Slippers actually click together. So I kind of threw in that theme, there's really no place like home, because liberal is home, and I'm really proud of our town. I'm excited about this, and I think this will be the most popular pin in Reno this year. So, thanks.
Thank you.
Brad?
Mayor, commissioners, it's tree match time again. So our tree match program will open tomorrow. Trees can be ordered at the administration office at City Hall. So they'll be available from 11 to 1 and 2 to 5:30 tomorrow, and Thursday from 7:30 to 12, and then 1 to 5:30 on Thursday, and on Friday from 7:30 to 11:30 a.m. This program is for City of Liberal residents only, with a limit of 4 trees each. The trees are $30. And if you look at your packet, so we're offering autumn flame maples, Shumard oaks, I don't know how to say that, some kind of elm tree, autumn purple ash, Oklahoma red buds, Corinthian flowering peach. If you'll notice, there are no pears. We can't get pears anymore. They're
Extinct.
they're invasive to the state of Kansas, so they've outlawed them. So everybody that wants trees, they'll be available tomorrow. A couple other things. Cart paths at the golf course are done. We roughly did about 1,600 feet of cart paths. They're all finished. They did a fabulous job. Everybody's happy with them. So we're moving on from there. If you've been by the pool, demo's going pretty good. We've got the roofs off the shelters. One of the shelters is gone. We will be installing one over here by the splash pad at McCray Park, up close to the splash pad, where you can get some shade and some picnic tables under there, and it'll be a nice addition to that park. Park restrooms. I know there's been a lot of, why aren't the restrooms open? If it was as simple as going and turning a valve, they'd be open every time it turned 80 degrees. We currently have a couple of bathrooms open, but like Bluebonnet Park, there's porta potties there. The ball fields, there are porta potties there. The softball complex has porta potties there. Those are because the schools are using those facilities, and we require them to put them there when they're practicing until we get ours open. We are opening quite a few of ours this week, and we'll finish them off next week. It's still calling for cold temperatures on Friday, down highs of in the 50s. So our ones that are kind of protected, we're gonna go ahead and open them up. And the ones that we call open air, we'll probably wait till the first of next week to get those open. But when we go in there, we take toilets apart, we take sinks apart, we blow all the lines out, and then we go in and we put antifreeze in all those deals. So it's not a simple task. It takes about a day per restroom to get them back online or shut off. So if you're wondering why we don't just go turn a valve, that's why. And since Rita's here, so we did some measuring on the park today, and we're gonna look at displacing utilities and see, so we can have a dollar amount for the sidewalk in that park. But we did get it measured today, and just trying to anticipate where we're gonna put it. And that's all I got.
Any other staff?
Here. I brought props. So, the shelter, I've had a lot of people ask about, pardon me, fostering animals, and we have, as I've been there almost 5 years, we've never done fostering. So I was trying to find a substitution to actually fostering the animal. So what we've come up with is Tails Around Town. So what it's going to be is you can come to the shelter. I'm going to start, I think, with 3 days a week. You'll be able to check out a dog, like a library kind of. You get to check out a dog for up to 4 hours. They have to stay within Liberal City limits. You can't take them home to play with your own pets. You can take them to a park, take them out for cruising Main Street, get a pup cup, do something to get them out of the shelter. I think it'll help the long-term dogs. I think it'll help people. Everybody wants a dog, right? So to get started, we got the Adopt Me harnesses. I bought trackers to put on them. Not only just because I don't think people are going to necessarily leave town with them, but it's really easy for a dog to get away. So this will help us be able to find it faster if that does happen. The harnesses come with what's that called? That code thing right there. And I scanned these and set them up so it does, if the dog does get lost, somebody finds it, they can scan this, and it tells them it's a Liberal Animal Shelter dog. So they can get back to us if somebody was to find them. Created these cute little bags, Tails Around Town. In the bags, we're gonna provide the seat belt for the car. So you can hook this into your car, this to their harness so the dog's secured in the vehicle. Leashes, say Adopt Me, a collapsible water bowl, poop bags, all the things. Water, a bottle of water, a brush. If you take them to the park, you can brush them out. Also, what we're calling canine calling cards. So like you're at Light Park with the dog, somebody sees it, they're interested in adoption, they can take a picture, and the back has all of our information to get a hold of the shelter if they're interested in adoption. And then the other laminated one is emergency contacts, which has the office number and then dispatch non-emergency number to, if there is an emergency, to call somebody and get a hold of them. So we haven't started yet. Scarlett wants to be the first one to check out a dog. Gotta try it out. Yeah. So we'll see. I just kind of wanted to run it by you guys, let you know we're trying to come up with something to keep the community involved, but yet maybe not the whole fostering, you provide them all the supplies, all the food, all the things, constantly checking on them. With only 7 staff members, I don't know that we necessarily have the time for that. So I thought maybe just checking them out for up to 4 hours, taking them out of the building, car ride, that kind of thing. Get them a pup cup or a T-bone steak, whatever you want to get them. So, anyway, I just wanted to run that by you guys, let you know we're gonna try to start the new program April 1st. Is that what you're
That's a
thinking?
great idea.
Okay.
Do you
Good.
vet people?
What?
Do you vet people that want to adopt?
No, I'm just gonna let anybody go.
Okay, that's what I figured.
No, they have to be 18, and I do have a form for them to fill out before they get a dog, so it kind of helped me put them with the right dog. So are you more of a small dog person? Can you handle the large dogs? What kind of energy level? Are you a low energy person? Are you a higher energy person? I'm not a marathon person, obviously, so I don't want a runner. That just kind of give me a better idea of what to match them with. If they have pets at home, remind them you can't take them to your pet to your house. But if you don't have pets at home, do you have a fenced in yard? Because if you don't have a dog at home and you want to take it home for 3 hours and play in the backyard and lay on the couch in the living room, have at it. So yeah, we do have a form for that, and then there is a release form. And then there's also a manual that they'll get with all the do's and don'ts and what's going on. Any questions?
Will you require ID to take out the dog?
We'll
You'll take a
photocopy
copy?
their, yeah, I'll take a photocopy of their ID keep it with their application stuff.
I love the
And
idea.
maybe a picture of a license plate, just in case I don't know.
But you'll
Whatever
only do
extra you
so
want.
many a week.
Yeah, so I wanted to start with, we're only gonna do one a day, and I'm thinking Tuesday, Thursday, and maybe Saturday and Sunday. Probably both days. So maybe 4 days a week, but only one dog a day till we, as staff, confirm we are all on the same page, well-oiled machine. And then as we get more efficient with it, I would be more than happy to do a couple a day. I mean, I bought enough stuff for 6 of the adventure bags and 6 harnesses, 6 seatbelt things. So eventually we can get more, but I just think to start out with, to be safe for the dog and the person, just start with one a day till we know we're all on the same page.
Awesome.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Steve. I knew there was more.
All right, how you doing? Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. I just want to let you know we have and everybody at home, we have a auction on gavelroads.com. You can go on there. There's items that are being auctioned from the city. So go ahead and bid that up for us so we can get some more money back for the general fund. We'd encourage you to do that, but if you don't get a chance, or if you haven't been on there, there's a lot of items that pop up. We don't buy anything off of that necessarily, but a lot of good items that we get on there every quarter. So please take some time and check it out. I want to let you know.
Okay, thank you, Steve. All right. Item number 12, City Manager Report.
So Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, I have several things, but I will try to run down them fairly quickly. We've had a full meeting today. First up, I have not given you bus ridership numbers for February. We maintained 2,234 total riders. This was actually up 20 riders from the previous month, and it is on par. This is the number that we're seeing month over month and year over year. If you haven't seen it already, there was a great story that we put out there on all of our social media involving one of our regular utilizers of the Paravan services, and that helped put that out there and promote it, and hopefully more people can utilize that because it is a great service that we offer. Second, we have spring cleanup coupons. They will be available at Jane's desk starting April 1st. We did have some people pick them up early and try to use them a little bit early, so we're not going to issue any more at this time until we hit the new month. So anybody can pick them up by giving us a utility bill, and she will issue 1 per account. So please utilize that. It's a great way that we help our community in cleaning up things for the spring. Third, it's hard to believe, but we're already scheduling the 2025 audit and exporting 2027 budget worksheets. So as we promised several years ago, the goal was always to get the audit back in May. When things were running well in finance, the audit was always in May. Therefore, it did not counteract what was going on with budget season, and we had it totally finished. But when I first arrived, we were having it as late as September. That's not conducive to getting financial statements out on time, and especially for grant funding. So congrats, Brian. You will have it back in May, and we will get that going. So very happy. It took some time to work back to that date, but we are here. So that was a goal that was met. Also, Brad mentioned this, and I think I said it last week, but thank you so much to Streets Department and our concrete crew. They have done some great work, and we just keep piling it on top of them. So cart paths, we're going to do Main Street sidewalks. They are on 8th Street that are crumbling and need work. They did a pad at the animal shelter so that we could put a storage unit on top of that. And then the dog park is coming, amongst other things. And that's not a glittery job by any means, but it's necessary. We do a ton of in-kind labor with them, and very proud of them and thank them very much. Finally, I just want to say I was very happy with how the public responded to our joint natatorium news along with the water park, splash park. I think that's a sign the public is ready for these types of projects. They're looking forward to it, and we really appreciated the support on that. So thank you to everybody.
I just have a quick question. We talked several months ago about putting up some additional bus stops around town. Where are we with that?
So I visited with Jose about that actually last week, because we're just seeing more of a need for that. We do have a little bit of built-in cushion in one of our 1-cent sales tax funds that we could utilize that. We've been waiting forever for grant funding, and maybe Steve, do you know anything additional on that? Or he's been a big part of this discussion along with Kristen here recently. And
Yeah, there's not really much of an update. We do have grant funding. It was kind of, it was the shelters, and it was also for signage. So it kind of got lost in translation as far as what the holdup was. We believe it's something that's actually through the grant, like the funding, that they're just not willing to pull the trigger on getting that to us. So we have looked at it. It is like in our forefront as far as what we're working on as well.
I think it's possible we could prioritize some specific areas of need, take care of those with some cushion we have in community development, 1% sales tax, and then we could still utilize grant funding.
Yeah, and we have looked at additional locations that we think are valuable.
Yeah, and I'm sure the drivers know where people are waiting, and
They do.
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
That's
I'm with you. If we can get anything before it gets to the really hot temperatures or the winds or storms, because I still see people out there waiting
By the sign.
by the sign.
Yeah.
And, you know, the one I mentioned to Scarlett was the one at Dillon's, and that's one that I have a lot of people always bring up to me, because if you try and hide by the store for any kind of shade or protection, you don't
miss the
make it in
bus.
time to
Yeah.
the bus.
Yeah, there's,
Or
seems
you
like
see
to
the
be,
time, so
there's
you'll-
one out on Western before you go out on Second Street Road. Seems like there's always somebody standing there, and it's like a really busy street, and there's not much room off that curb and something like. I just see it. I just was wondering.
We totally see it, and growing a little impatient or a lot impatient with that process. The way I envision the grant is that it's just sitting on somebody's desk underneath a very large pile. And so I think we'll take some steps forward to pinpoint the highest area of need, take care of that, and then continue to try to get grant funding.
And they don't have to be, you know.
Even
Taj
sometimes a
Mahal.
bench would be enough, I
Yeah,
think, yeah.
bench and maybe a little shade or something.
You know, you mentioned the one at Dillon's or whatever. Originally, this one out here was gonna go, this project was gonna go at Dillon's, and there was some kind of a problem with commitment of the ownership of the property for him to put it there, and they got tired of waiting on it because he was gonna not be a scout at some point. It took so long, I think, or whatever. I mean, he was growing older, and they finally moved over here for that project, but I don't know if there's still a problem at Dillon's to put one. I don't even remember if that was before the other buildings were there.
You know, I can remember working on a stop at Dillon's when I was doing the bus, and that's been, and that's been 10 or 12 years
Yeah.
ago.
So one of the things with the KDOT transit grant, we've been through this before, is they want to know, has to be handicap accessible,
Yeah.
think it'd be simple to just go put a bench up on
Yeah.
the sign.
Timeline wise, just to let everyone know, this was something that Karen was working on since 2021. So it's been approved and in process for a long time. Her and I tried to get calls with KDOT over it several times, and we, at the very beginning of the year, got a call back. They wanted to schedule another call in April, so I do believe things are moving on it, but she's worked on it for a lot of years, and so hopefully this year we'll see some movement.
Now, I know that's regarding the grant work.
Right.
Well, are those requirements still, if we pay for all of it, what we're putting in? Because,
Almost guarantee that they're gonna require everything to be to their specs. It's their program. I couldn't be 100%.
But if we did it on our own,
Yeah, we just put
we
it
can do it.
20 yards away and put a bench there and.
put a bench on the other side. That's not a bus stop.
Not a bus stop,
The good
just a
thing
rest
is, we
area.
found the binder that has all the information in it, and I've been sorting through it. It, like you said, Karen had done a lot of work on this thing, it got stalled out. But we could find out if there's any stipulations that we have
Yeah.
to follow through KDOT. You know, we have a lot of people at City Hall that will probably have that information, but we'll reach back out and give you an update next commission.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 13, items from commissioners. We want to start with anybody on the phone, want to say anything?
Matt or Janeth, do you want to start?
I don't have anything for tonight. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody and all the real hard work that's going into everything. And, you know, I really appreciate it. I know the weather's been really nice and it's warm and it's nice to see that spring's coming and summer's around the corner and we're going to see people in the splash pads and things of that nature. So it's pretty exciting coming up, but that's about it. You know, thank you city staff and for all the hard work and, you know, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I don't have a whole lot either. Just want to thank all of the staff for all of their hard work. And also thank you for being understanding and accommodating me to the meetings. I'm on maternity leave right now, so but I should hopefully be back at the next meeting in person. But other than that, just once again, thank you to the staff and especially to the streets and parks departments. I have been seeing the parks pretty full recently with the nice weather and the parks are just looking spectacular. That's all.
Okay.
I'll go, I guess.
Sure.
I guess we say it every time, but we mean it. We appreciate what staff does, and to me, it's exciting to see all the departments that want to make things better, like the dog. I think there's a little bit there, the foster dog, that then you get to where you like the dog, so then you got to adopt it, right? But that's okay. I mean, that's a good program, and then the stuff going on out at the golf course. These things are really cool. The design, just everything that all the departments are doing. The Atlas deal is going to be exciting, but to me, it's exciting to see that everybody that works at the city wants to make their department better. And to me, that's exciting. So thank you guys. And that's all I got.
No, be very much along the same line. Thank you to all the staff for everything you do. It really, you know, one of our duties as commissioners is to try to be the voice of the public. But in the flip side, we also have to defend what the city does. And a lot of time, it's just a lack of information between what staff does and what the public expects. A large portion of that, the reason I bring it up is, you know, bus stops gets brought up. Every time we bring out a new project that is to benefit the community, you'll have a few people that come out and say, well, why don't you do these other things? And the portion is, we bring it up, we want to do as much as we can. And we're working on it. But we also know the limitations. We can go ahead and say, do a bus stop tomorrow, but we have cement projects throughout the entire town that are already set up, road projects that we're trying to get done. But that doesn't stop us from having developed that program or the notice on the website. So people can still reach out to us and say, what is it they need fixed? Where are the problems? And honestly, I think that's helped a lot too for people. Every time I see it now on Facebook where someone posts a complaint, someone is putting, well, put it on, submit the request. And then you don't hear about that anymore. So that's something I encourage everyone to do. When you have an issue, submit the request. And I promise you, someone will be will be addressing that one way or the other. Or we'll be letting you know why we haven't got to it, what it's going to take, where the differences are and what we need to do. So truly, thank you to all the staff for what you do, what we've created. We've definitely focused on trying to help get information in between where staff is and where the community is. So, and I think the Atlas project is going to be great. We were working on dashboards, and it's created something that is much more impressive. And I think both staff, the community, the commission, leadership, everyone's going to be surprised by the amount of information that exists that we've just never been able to utilize. So thank you for all you do.
Okay, to kind of piggyback on what these guys say, thank you to staff. It's just amazing to see the level of engagement that staff has, each in their own individual departments. But man, when you put all that together, we really do have a great team. So it's really unfair when you start singling out people who we see at a meeting like this and thank them for their hard work. Nevertheless, congratulations to Alicia for being named the Grand Poobah. And I've seen that publication, on social media, always with a lot of, thumbs up and likes and things like that. So that, I know that's well deserved. Thanks to Tim for all his hard work on this Atlas project. I honestly think that that's going to revolutionize how we do operations for the city. I mean, you start thinking about how you can utilize all that data that we accumulated over the years and continue to accumulate in water and wastewater and streets and building and finance and HR and you accumulate that data and then just begin to go through it and tie these things together. Police, I think it's going to revolutionize how we operate as a city going forward. So, I'm just really excited about the future. I'm excited about what we have going on, and I'm really appreciative of the entire city team that we've got. I'm also excited about getting to start on the downtown redevelopment program. I think that's going to be a great thing for our community. So. Having said that, item number 14, vouchers.
I'll make a motion that we approve the vouchers in the amount of $2,351,493.44.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or questions about vouchers? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, item passes 5-0. We're adjourned.